Okay, so to start out the video tonight, the stream tonight, uh, this is Michael, once again, and tonight I'm going to be playing Hohokum. No one's in the chat right now yet, or even watching yet, but just to kind of introduce what this is, I try to dissect the game design of games while streaming them as a way to sort of just kind of improve my eye for game design. That's the plan, and that's what I'm doing, and I'm just trying to play a variety of games and just sort of talk about them to myself and with others. So, to start off, this is Hohokum. It's Santa Monica Studios, Honey Slug, I think, and then there's one of the artists, I forget his name, it's right there in the beginning title sequence, we may have seen it, but yeah, it's a very interesting game. Overall, I mean, it's not your typical game, it's just kind of weird. Definitely the designers were looking to make odd puzzles, or just kind of interesting puzzles, not really even hard, most of them. But so let's go ahead and start the game. I'm going to go ahead and make a new game, and let's just dive in. Looks like I got one viewer right now. Hello, thanks for joining. Not sure if you're a return viewer, but we're going to be talking game design on Hohokum today. Hey, it's Jeremy Stir. I know that guy. Says, yo, what up? Nothing much. Just gonna be playing this chill game. So, brings you in here and just kind of gives you freedom to kind of look around. So, just kind of going into it, you play as this snake-like creature throughout the game. And yeah, you just kind of explore and bump into things and figure things out. I mean, right here, this is actually one of my favorite areas. And side note, I'm sorry if my mic cracks. I found out my PlayStation mic settings, if it gets too high, if I'm too loud, it'll actually kind of crack in the audio. My friend pointed it out to me, and I kind of discovered that earlier. So yeah, sorry about that in advance. So here we go. Point of this game is you just kind of find your friends, and in this first section you'll find them all, but then they'll all go into separate levels. This is a really kind of minimal way to kind of show how the controls work. So it shows an X, and the X lights up because I did it, and you hear a sound, and you realize you're going faster. So that's a very simple, easy way to kind of just show how the game works. This is one thing here as well. You'll see this symbol recurring throughout the game is these eyes. Just kind of an odd, weird choice. So then we have a circle here, so I'm going to press circle, and I go slower. So those are the main controls. There are some different controls as well. I mean, I can use the touchpad on the controller, which is not working right now. I think that happens later in the game. But if you'll notice, sometimes I'll wiggle my character, and he'll go and end up going faster. So I'll sometimes do that because it's just kind of more fun instead of just holding down X. But this level, you get these little sections here, and it's one thing about this game is it's less about the game and more just kind of about relaxing and chilling and kind of having fun in a more artistic sense, I guess. So sometimes I'll sit here and I'll make designs. I spend a little bit too much time here. I'm not going to spend a lot of time this time as I'm playing through, just because I'd like to get into some of the puzzles, but this game immediately kind of just tells you through its music, through its design, showing you the controls and these things you bump into, that you're not really going to be having a stressful gaming situation here. You're going to be just kind of relaxing and sitting back and enjoying the experience. So here's another friend. And this is most of the game. The puzzles don't really immediately come out and say this is the puzzle. It's just kind of you bump into things and you kind of just wonder what's going on, and there's no words, no instructions, and you just kind of go along with it. So let's just kind of float around here and figure things out. So I'd say this game is definitely on the level of another game I played recently on my stream, is Mini Metro. It's just very minimal. The art is just very simple and there to just kind of be enjoyed. But on top of that, it helps the game become less complicated, because some of these levels there's a lot of moving parts, and the simple design and the visuals really helps clear up what you're supposed to do, or at least make it easier to figure out. So now that I've got all my friends, I can enter the game, get out of the tutorial zone. But this tutorial zone is one of my favorite tutorials in any game ever, just because there's only like 2 controls to learn, or 3 controls. There's moving, going fast, and going slow. Then you just kind of go around and you mess around. The music's nice. It just kind of leads you into the experience the game wants you to have in a very good sense. So let's go here. And the story of the game is told through these kind of like comic style frames. You never really get anything more than that, and I guess you'd say it's a story, but it's not really too much of a story. It's just sort of like, this happened. So now you get to go out into the world and figure things out. Now all my friends are gone, and I've got to go find them now. You'll notice these little holes. This is the way you get around in between levels. It's really interesting because it's somewhat hard to navigate, but in a sense I think that was like on purpose. I mean, to make it not so easy to understand. It's a little bit abstract, but that's just kind of the way this game was built. So you gotta focus on this. This is actually a really good way of kind of introducing this game mechanic here, because otherwise you'd probably just pass by this and nothing would happen. But the camera focuses in on it, and that's really good because it tells you there's something important here. So as you move around and just touch things, there's these eyes that open, and as you open all of them, this guy standing here gets angry, I think. And now he paints a line on this tree. And that introduces a mechanic in this game, because if I pause it here, he'll tell me how many eyes I've gotten in this level, how many eyes I've found. And there's 146 in the game, and it's always good because if you don't know how many you've gotten, you've got that guy to pop up and tell you you've got 15 of them. So you just kind of wander around, figure out things, bump into things, and just see how they react. It's kind of cool to do. I think with these, you want to get in and touch the center. And this, right here, what I'm doing isn't even important to the game. Just go ahead and do it because it reacts and it's kind of fun to play with. It's very much just go around and see what happens. And it's just interesting to me because I've never played a game that just has all these little pointless little things to just do, but it still makes it fun to do while you're playing. Because while you're playing this game, you want to just kind of enjoy it. There's all these little things you could bounce on. Ping pong, not ping pong, pinball. So, alright. Sometimes these can be kind of annoying if you're trying to get past them, but at least in this level they're only on the top, and when you enter the level you're not in the way of them. You can just kind of avoid them completely. Not really have any trouble getting past them. But in this main hub area, there's a few things. There's these 3 portals. I can light up those circles and do that. There's these down here, which I forget what the sequence is I need to do. But all this does is when you find the sequence is it has a little bit of a Journey reference. It has one of those Leviathan creatures from Journey pop up, and that's about it. I mean, it doesn't really make any sense to just have that, but it's just kind of to one of their other games, Santa Monica, just kind of reference and fun little thing for fans of Santa Monica, which so far from what I've seen I'm kind of a fan of them. So I don't know really where the levels go here, so I'm just going to go in and explore, find a level to go into, and show kind of how this game works, and get into the meat of it kind of here. So, yeah, I'm going to go to this one over here. This one's a good one. But you see, yeah, I go through that one portal and it splits off into 2, and then after that it'll actually split off into 2 more. One of them will go home and one of them will go to the next level, and so you never really have a clear idea of where you're going unless you've played the game enough, and it's been a while since I've played, so it just kind of wander around and figure out where things are and find your friends, and yeah. This level is especially one that has one of the weirdest puzzles I've seen because it's not straightforward at all. There's not really much to do. I mean, you go around in this water park and you pick up people and you drop them off places and you have fun. At least, hopefully you're having fun playing this game. If you're not, I don't know. But, yeah, you go over here, they fly off. So, as you're going through here, I mean, you just have to kind of figure out, like, what do you think the level's asking for here? I mean, so if I go straight down, what do I see? Clouds, and then the bottom. So these are floating islands, and these are guests at a water park. And then there's this little floating island here. And I've played this with some of my friends, and some of my friends love the game, and some of my friends say that, like, they just do not get it. And I can see that. I mean, I didn't get this game at first either. I mean, I just sort of played it because I heard about it and it looked interesting to me. But as you play and explore, this is kind of one of the aspects of the game, you just sort of explore the level. I found out here, go through here, and all of a sudden the music changes, the lighting changes, and you go through here and there's these crow-like creatures, these little clouds, and you can just fly around and you don't really know what you're doing here. It gets foggier up here and you can't see anymore. And you'll notice it kind of sounds a little depressing, and you go through here and you see this water park that's now broken down, overgrown with plants, and sort of seems desolate. There's nothing really going on here. Then you find this guy. the only, well, not the only living thing. There's little crow things, but you find this guy and yeah, he's sleeping. But if you grab a cloud, you can put it over here above him, and these clouds will then start forming above him. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's figure out what to do here. There's another cloud. Oh yeah, it's working now. So I found out, I think after the tutorial it lets you do this, but you can just sort of use the touchpad to kind of make a weird sound and go really fast and wiggly. I have no idea what use that really has. It's just, the first time I actually did it, I accidentally touched the touchpad like that, and it just sort of did that, and I had no idea what I did, and I was just like, what the heck is that? And it's just little things like that in this game that I'm not really sure I understand why they're there or what the designers were thinking behind it, but just sort of giving the player another little way to experience it. So my girlfriend's daughter, she loved this game for a while. She just floated around, and she especially loved this level. She'd go here, but she wouldn't go to this side of it. She'd go to the water park and just mess around with the people, and it kind of makes sense. I think the designers weren't really going for like a broad audience, but more of an audience that just loves to explore little areas and mess around with things, not like a really defined goal. There is a defined goal in the game, which is find all your friends, but it's more of just a relaxing go around and enjoy it all. So I'm going to finish this puzzle here. I'm going to kind of, oh, probably shouldn't have done that. Hopefully it didn't reset everything. I forget if it does. Good, it didn't. So I'm just going to kind of go through it and let you watch and see. So, Jeremyster, do you have any thoughts? Is this game boring to watch? I imagine it might be kind of boring to watch, that it might not be the best streaming experience, but it's definitely interesting to play, and as a designer, on the designer aspect, it's kind of interesting just to kind of see what these developers made. And maybe like why they made it. Like, were they saying something, or were they just kind of having fun? Or were they high? I don't think they were, but mainly just because I don't think that's the right way to go whenever something's kind of weird. It's not always drugs, it's just interesting art. So, this guy's now awake. I got the little clouds and they rained on him, and he's alive now. So, now we can bring him to the water park, and he'll sit here and splash around in the water. I forget if this is the one he needs to go to or what. Yeah, there you go. See, now you have a little fun little guy to splash people. So you can bring him over here and just have fun here for a little bit longer if you want to. It's not even necessary. I mean, you could speedrun this game. I think one of the achievements for this game is actually to beat it within an hour, which I think I could possibly do, but I've never really tried it. Mainly just because every time I play it, I'm just kind of playing it to just kind of not have a stressful time, but more just kind of lay back and enjoy it. So now we go back to this area, and the lighting's a little bit different. We get up here, and let's see here. There's no island over here, but we got this up here. So now we got this big fat guy floating up here, and we go in here. Music's back, full of life, lots of water fish animals, and here's the park. And we found our friend, one of them. His name is Oberon. And that's kind of how this game goes. You just kind of go through it and you figure out the mental headspace the designers were trying to get you in and figure out the puzzle, and at the end you get this little somewhat bit of a reward to having your friend float around. The one thing too is if you head back to the tutorial stage, which you can at any time, which is visit home, this friend will now be there with a portal to his level. So I'll show you actually. Let's go ahead and do that. So this main little hub area, still empty, but we have one spot here with Oberon here. And now I can float around with him, and if I wanted to spend more time making little fun designs with him, I can do this. But as you find more and more of your friends, they all show up, and you can head back to the level they were at, or you can head back to the hub area. But I'll show how the levels actually progress in this game. So I went through this portal here and went through one of them, but if I go through the level, there's going to be another portal on the other side, usually. I forget where it is exactly here. Maybe it's down here. Yep. These little dots. Open it up, and now we have another in-between area. And these are always kind of little fun things. Most of them have little things you can do in them, or interesting things. This one, you float down and there's these villagers here, and as you go through, you kind of terrorize them and they run in their huts, and so you go, okay, well, should I leave? But now they're trying to attack me. They miss. I'm trying to see if they can hit me, but it doesn't look like it does anything. So now they get scared and they run away. Fun little story to tell there in between the levels. And we'll go ahead and go in this next level. This level is kind of interesting. Let's just kind of go through it and see what we've got here. We got a person with a lantern, and now they'll ride on me here, and okay. His lantern lights up these stones, which when we find all 4 of them, it'll open up this next little portal here, the next little pathway. So now, this level is actually really good at explaining what the point is. It's one of the few that actually has like a very distinct tutorial area. This level is actually really well made. Not the last one was actually badly made. I think it's just interesting. Kind of felt like it had somewhat of an environmentalist tone to it, but as well, just sort of was an area for you to mess around with and have fun. This one gets straight to the point. So you're going through this cave with this explorer, and you don't know what you're doing. So, oh, here's a treasure, and I broke it. And that character seems to be sad that I broke it. So I'm not going to try to break any of them anymore. Oh, but look. Found one of those eyes I was talking about earlier. And I can open up that eye and hopefully find the rest of them in the level if I was trying to 100% the game. So, we got all these things. Oh, there's a stone. So maybe there's more stones here. Nope, no stone here. There's the rock. But you heard that click sound, which means it ended. So, oop. Oh, no stone there. And this level kind of frustrates you a little bit because you hop around and have issues with bumping into everything. There's these bats that actually will put out your lamp, so you can't see those stones. So let's go over here. So, when it comes down to this game, it doesn't have so much in the way of mechanics. The mechanics are fairly simple and straightforward, and it's not complicated that way. It's just about building levels and building the story experience that you're kind of going through here. Each level has a story to it. The last one was these people partied, ruined their environment, and in the future there was not very much life after the park went away and they were gone. But after we went back and brought back that little water guy, they made sure he had a habitat in the end, and we fixed that area. This area, this person's searching for something, so what is it they're searching for? We found this little cave here, and this little cave is not even necessary. It's just a weird caterpillar-like creature. And there you go. So now we found that, had nothing to do with it, and we'll head on to the next area. Oops. Really bad at not hitting those. So here, we'll find these 4 stones in this area. Oh, another one. So, looks like I have one more viewer. Hello, welcome, thanks for joining. Playing Hohokum tonight. Just a very interesting game where sometimes it's a little hard to understand what the designers were wanting you to get out of it or wanting to tell you through the story. But I'm in this level here where I've got a character who I found who's searching for something. So I'm exploring this cave with them to try to help them find whatever it is they're looking for. Gotta watch out for those bats in this level. This is also one of the few levels where there's like an actual, somewhat like, bad guy that you have to avoid. Because they'll put out your light, and then you can't find these stones. Oh shoot. Uh-oh. Oh, the stones ran out. So if you have any questions or anything you'd like to say about the game so far, once again, just to kind of reiterate for the new viewer, this game is really interesting because it's more about just kind of sitting back and bumping into things and figuring out the puzzles and trying to understand the headspace of the developers. That's the end of the level, but I'd like to go and find the friend creature guy. I believe he's in one of these if you break it. This one. So we've got this friend who seems to be a blind, well maybe he's not blind, but it was just too dark for him. He just found that place to hide, and Cecil is his name. It really doesn't make sense. I mean, why they gave him names, what the story is overall. I mean, is this guy just finding his friends? Why is he finding his friends? Why do they leave? But here, the explorer is now jumped down here and sitting on this couch and has a friend here with a big pile of treasure. So, treasure hunters or something, and there you go. But, yeah, so that's this level here. let's go ahead and move on. But yeah, most of the design of this game is actually just figuring out the levels. I mean, the designers mainly had to figure out what they were trying to tell with each level, what they were trying to have for an experience for the players. Is a lot less on mechanics and more on the story/art side of things. Like, what do they want to say with each level? What do they want to do with each level? And this area is just empty with music, so not really much to do. So let's move on to the next level. Yeah. So this level, just kind of like the last one, is one of the few that actually has this antagonist. So we have these people on top of this giant elephant creature with a monkey in a cage who seems to be wanting something. So you go around and you explore, and once again you just sort of bump into things, and it's a weird... Overall, this game is just kind of weird. I mean, it's... What am I doing here? I'm finding all these animals. Yeah, each of these worlds, each of these levels has a little bit of a theme, and you just kind of go through it and you figure out what the theme is. You come down here, underneath, and you find out there's like this whole other world here. Break these things and they follow you around. So what do? You got these monkeys, and then you'll notice they'll start climbing on you. Then you come over to this tree, and all of a sudden those little things that were following you turn into fruit. So you're pollinating this tree, making fruit. Okay, so bring these monkeys to these vines above the tree, and they hop down, grab a whole pile of fruit. So let's grab this other monkey and try to get him some fruit too. Pick him up. Now they've got a big armful of fruit. What exactly does this do now? And that's, once again, one of the things about this game is you just kind of float around and you interact with all these stories. Oh, there's an eye. Interact with these little worlds and stories, and in the end sort of help them out as you're searching for your friends. And in searching for your friends and helping them out, you find them all. Now the music's gotten a little bit more intense, and they look like they're on guard. So maybe, and I already know this because I played it, but we're trying to save these monkeys' friend who's been stolen. So we have here a little bit of a bullet hell type stage where he's shooting these little dots at us, and we've got to make sure that these monkeys have a free shot to throw fruit at this elephant creature. Oh, I just lost one. When you lose him, you can see he runs off and he climbs back down. lost him too. So now I gotta go grab more. Oh, actually, yeah, there's a whole pile of fruit here. I forgot about that. So they don't make it too hard. You don't have to go all the way back down there. Which actually is really good, because, I mean, it's not much to have to go all the way down there and grab another monkey, but you can see that down there they were a little bit temperamental. You had to kind of get them in just the right spot. But up here, when they fall off, they just run over, refill their arms, and now you're back at it without having to leave the battle. No. Man. Okay, so I'm getting close to beating it. Because it doesn't get this hard until... Yep, just one more hit. So we saved their friend, and there we go. Turns out one of our little friends was just kind of hanging out with these people. As a hat. That's Constance. So yeah, I mean, really, there's not too much to say about this game. I mean, the designers definitely wanted you to kind of figure out the headspace they were in and understand the story or whatever they were trying to tell you. But in doing that, you just kind of explore and figure things out, and it's more of an interesting game to play. I can't really say that it's one of my favorites, but it's definitely fun and interesting to play because of the experience. There's not very many games I can play that I've actually said have given me a like experience like this one. This is so odd. I don't know where he's going when he goes behind these things and disappears. Yeah, I can see in the level he'll follow you around, but behind one of these things he just disappears. So where did he go? I don't know. So let's go ahead and leave this level, and I'm going to go ahead and find a couple more levels to explore before I go ahead and call it a night. So this is one of the sections where you can either head to the main home or the hub area after the home. So you go to the hub area and go through another portal. So now I've beaten one branch of that middle portal. So you can see the levels sprawl out, and now I know that that was the middle portal. I can go through the middle one again, and sorry, my allergies are stuffing my nose up. But I can go through the middle portal again and play those other levels, or I can choose another portal and just kind of float around and find another place. And I went the way I did in the middle portal because I liked those levels better as I saw the little circles. So let's go this way and see what levels are here. So I can't remember if there's one or two in here, but there's one over there that I can definitely see. All the way over here. So let's go ahead and go to this level. This is actually a pretty good one. And this level's going to go pretty quick. There's not really a lot to do here, but it's just... And actually what I'm doing right here isn't even important. You just do it, and experience what's going on in this level. There's a night scene, and you turn on all the lights. And we get these guys that sit here and play music. And I could leave right now, or I could go up here and to the stars and find my friend. But then they have one other thing here where you can just go under here and turn off the lights. And that, I think, would simply just be there because then you can sort of just keep messing around endlessly with the lights and turning them on and off and going over and restarting it. But there's not really a whole big point behind it. But these guys will always be here now, so we finished that. Then we go up here in the sky, and we can make constellations with the stars by collecting these other stars and outlining one of these things here. And once again, I mean, it's not even important. I mean, I can do this, and it looks like some kind of moth. That's cool. But you don't even have to do any of this. It's just here so you can mess around and find the eyes and have something to do while you're doing it. But here, this is the one constellation that we want to finish because it turns out it's our friend. That is Lois. Or Lois. I have no idea. I'm going to say Lois, though. But now, I have this friend here, and back at home, that friend is there as well. So now we can say we finished this level. And sort of as you can see, I mean, this game just sort of asks you to just lay back and enjoy the experience and just kind of get into the headspace of sitting back and enjoying the experience as it is. Now this level is actually one of the in-between levels, but it's a little bit more complex because there is a few things in here to do. There are a few things that are in here to do. There's some eyes, but there's an exit there, and then there's also an exit over here. So I'll go and kind of show it what this place does. So this guy does this little weird thing and makes you do a little symbol. And so this guy, as you come in here, he'll do 3 different symbols, and that's actually how you get the little journey reference in the main hub area. So there's really... that's how you find it, and it kind of adds a bit to the mystery and a little puzzle solving or trying to figure things out. But there's really not any point to it. I mean, it's just there to be there, and it's kind of the whole theme of this game is like this character is just here and doing things, and everything's going along without him. I forget, actually, is a friend in this level? Go ahead and try to knock this over again. And now we made this guy sad and we broke all his pottery. Because we're jerks. So, what level is this way? Don't remember what that is. Let's go this way. This is a good level, but I might actually go back. This is kind of... I want to find another one of the levels that's a little bit less on the sort of environmental cause side. Because that one has like those little creatures that were all over there. They're in the next level. And you use them to gather honey for a factory. But then what happens is you work them till they're sick and dying and finish the level, and it ends up being worse off after doing it. And it's just kind of like, okay, well, that has something to say about our whole using animals for everything. Yeah, I don't even remember what this level is. Oh yeah, I love this level. Okay. So, this one does have some environmental stuff too as well. So this guy is searching for a mermaid. Here she's playing a harp. I wonder if there's a third one. Yeah, there's just another shape of a mermaid. So he's searching around, and you go under here and there's a bunch of fish, sponges. The eyes are on these little coral rocks that are floating around. So, and you'll notice these sponges will suck up the water and then put them back out, and it just kind of adds life to the level. And there are some sponges that you can actually hit, and then they'll release a bunch of water and connect more fish. That becomes somewhat important to the puzzle here. Okay. And now you can feed them. Okay. So I'm going to kind of go through this level fairly quickly, just because I don't really think there's much more to explain here. I just kind of want to show more of what this game is about. So we have this obviously human-made creature. He's an anchor, and he eats all these fish, and there's a bunch of dead fish around here, not much life, and he seems to be causing a problem. The humans have once again ruined something on the planet, and we need to go over here, find more fish. As you go around here, you're like, okay, well, what's going on? Oh, what's this? And we have a mermaid-ish looking jellyfish lady. So, if we come over here, like, okay, let's bring this to the sailor over there. The sailor was searching for her. And the mermaid is scared of the anchor. So that means we have to get rid of it. But how do we get rid of it? Then you come over here and there's more pollution. What's the deal with all the pollution here? And then all of a sudden your fish are polluted and dirty and gross. Here's some more pollution. So, now we have a bunch of dirty, gross fish that ate a bunch of polluted garbage, and now they're bad to eat. We'll feed them to the anchor. Oh, he gets all rusted up and gross. And now he becomes part of like the ecosystem here. Now we have this mermaid, and we can have her follow us along to the sailor. And like most levels, there's other things to do in here. There's just so much to do that I'm like just going through the puzzles and showing how you kind of figure out the way these designers were thinking and developers were wanting you to figure out. sponges, sucking in all the water. We have to wait. He goes and he chills with his mermaid friend. And good old Fanshawe was sitting in the overalls of that sailor. So now, since I didn't do it before, I've got to find the portal to the next area. I'll probably play through one more area and then kind of just go ahead and call it a night for the stream. This does kind of get gets on the longer side of things. Not longer side of things, I don't even know what I'm saying right now. It gets on the, it feels long. And I haven't been playing this game nearly as long as I played the last game, but it's just because this game sort of doesn't have much more to show, much more to dissect. It's just sort of an abstract game for these artists to tell a story about something they find important, I think. I think a lot of the designers do care about the environment and are afraid of how humans are feeling about how the world is going right now environmentally, and it sort of just seems like they made levels that felt important to them. And I want to find... So this level over here on the left is kind of about farming and the seasons, and it just doesn't really feel environmentalist at all. It just kind of feels like, you know, farming is important, and through that you find this whole story. Let's go in this one. I think I know what this one is. If it's not, I'll just kind of pass through it. Yep. So this level has no environmentalist tones to it. There's this little red water sea here, and there's all these eyes down here at the bottom that I can open when the wave goes away. But, so there's all these people here, and they don't jump on me like other levels. They just sort of dance. So, I go through here and I look around, and there's these 3 people on pedestals, and oh, the camera focuses. So that means they're important to the puzzle. It's one of the few things in this game, design-wise, that actually helps you learn how to solve a puzzle. Now, this puzzle wouldn't be too hard to solve because there's not too much to interact with, but you go over here and you pick someone, and you go, okay, well, I'll go ahead and I'll pick this one right here. And, oh, I guess I got someone else now. But we have these people here, and this guy up here on a pedestal, so looks like it's a wedding. And we'll ring the bell, and now they're married. Get this little cute marriage dance party. And we're down here in this red water, which is actually wine. And we have this character who's throwing flowers, who didn't marry the person. And I forget. So the three suitors, yeah, he can be found right here. Now he's just dancing, they're having fun. But they're up here partying, and now what I'll do, oh, I forget what I need to do here. Well, I know what I need to do, but I forget how I do it. Here they are. We have these guys with wine glasses. We go and we make sure everyone has a glass. refill their glasses, and once again, just kind of go across and make sure everyone is served. So now, everyone's had their wine, and now it's the end of the party, and we can set off a bunch of fireworks, because it's a happy time. These two people got married, and there you go. So, then I go down here, and our friend is actually right here on the ship. This friend was on the ship for a long time, and they restored this old warship, it looks like, and our explorer ship, and there you go. Imanja. So, that's that level. Let's go ahead and go home and just kind of end the video here. So, yeah, I mean, that's Hohokum. I can't say it's a good game. I've enjoyed it immensely. I really, really like it a lot. And I think that there's a lot of good things about the game design-wise. They really did a good job on giving the player a tutorial here in this beginning level. This beginning level is actually just a lot of fun to play in. And just sort of enjoy as you're going through. And it kind of introduces you to this whole feeling of just kind of bumping into things, kind of like a pinball machine, just kind of bumping into things, seeing what they do. And then sort of this whole these things right here, I mean, sort of gets you in that mood for like wanting to just sit back and enjoy the music and figure out things. I don't know, I really enjoy that aspect of the game. But when it comes down to it, a lot of the levels are just really absurd and really weird and don't really tell you exactly how to do them. There's a couple that I actually took me a while to figure out on the first try. So some of the levels don't do a good job of telling you how to solve them, whereas others are very simple to solve. But that's sort of part of the experience, to just sort of understand it as it is. Just kind of go along and figure it out, figure out the headspace that the designers were in and the message they're trying to say. I mean, that last one was about like this family getting together for marriage, and then like this friend of yours was on a boat, whereas other ones are environmentalist in nature, other ones are just sort of like, one of them's like a theme park level where you rebuild a roller coaster, and that does not really have a lot to say about much, but it just sort of like, enjoy it, have fun. But yeah, so that's Hohokum. I really, really like this game. It's a game that I think anyone who's interested in games and the design behind games should try, mainly because it's just a very interesting, different look at a way you can put together a game and the way you can play a game. There's very few games that I've seen that try to do something like this and are successful in doing it. So, yeah, that's Hohokum. Thanks for watching. Jeremy Stir, I think, is the one who stayed here almost the whole time. Someone else came in at one point. I didn't expect a lot of people with this stream, mainly because Hohokum is not a stream watcher's game. It's just kind of not the kind of game that you want to sit back and watch someone play. But I really felt like this was going to be a good experience for me to kind of just sit back and try to dissect how they thought about putting together the game, which I think they came up with the mechanic, and I think they had the idea of telling all these different little stories, or telling all these different little messages, morals, and things like that. Came up with the mechanics to put to it and float along with it, and I think it was more idea before design. They didn't want a lot of they didn't want a lot of problems in the way of it. They just wanted someone to play this game, sit back and enjoy it, and just sort of take in everything. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, and anyone who watches the recording in the future, thanks for watching. That's going to be it for tonight.